Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon. We we're joined this evening by special guest Remy Ripple. Remy, hello.
Hello, it's me. I'm here.
Well, welcome. It's good to have you. Um, I feel like I have announcements, but I only remember one of them right now, so I'm gonna go with that, and we'll see where that gets us. Um, we are we basically are within since we don't have our because we finished the charity stuff. We're working on fulfilling all of the rewards and unlocks, all of that stuff. So we're working on all of that. Those of you who won items in the giveaway this week, we're going to be working on fulfilling those and getting those sent out. So uh, that is a priority this week. So you will either be hearing from John, or maybe you have already heard from John. Either way, uh, those will be coming shortly. Um, and of course, all of our unlocked programming is stuff that we are currently planning right now, like Caitlin and Olivia's Twilight Talk, which I'm very excited for. Um,
Mwahaha.
Yeah, and the Rule of Lore Among Us game, which streamed Among Us game, which will be a lot of fun and very chaotic. Um, and then of course my Mass Effect Legendary Edition playthrough, which will start. I think Freeman, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's starting at the beginning of next month. Okay, that's what I thought.
Looks at calendar that's been like screwed into the wall permanently.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe you said the 5th.
I think that sounds right. If that's a Saturday, then that's probably correct.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes. No, John, I have not started downloading it yet because it's not out yet. So, but I will do that soon. I also need to make room on my hard drive. That's not an announcement. That's just me saying words out that are in here out. Anyway, yeah, so all the stuff that was unlocked and given away during the charity event will be we're working on fulfilling it right now. So that will come soon. Stay tuned for announcements about that. This Friday on Ramblemancy, we have a very special guest coming to join us. Jordan Shively, aka Dread Singles, aka Hottest Singles. We're gonna be talking about cosmic horror, and I'm very excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Geekouts, you can't tell me stuff like that. They started pre-downloads today. Well, I'll get it done, okay? It's gonna happen. Calm down, everybody. But anyway, yes. So we'll be talking about cosmic horror with the inimitable Jordan Shively on Friday on this very channel. I'm very excited for that. Jordan, I will just say Jordan told John, be prepared to have me hate on Lovecraft. So I'm ready for that. Absolutely. So we'll distract Lucas somehow tonight. Not if I tab away. I literally can't do that right now because I need to be operating the OBS. Anyway, that's all I've got for announcements for Rule of Lore stuff. So, are there other announcements? I feel like there probably are.
You should watch the VOD of Sunday's Fireplay with Frank. It's really fun. It's I think it's already on YouTube.
It is on YouTube. I think it
Yeah.
was it
I'm
today
so
that it
excited
went
to
up.
watch it.
I think it went up today.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cute and really fun, and it's fun playing tweens, kids on bikes. I had a good time. It was great. You should watch the VOD. I won't be back on
Could just be
Powerplay.
reckless. That's great.
Yeah, it was amazing. I won't be back on Powerplay for a few weeks. So we have 2 more single episodes and then a week off, but you should watch those too because they're gonna be fun. That's all I got.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
I have plenty of things.
Yeah, you do.
I won't list out all of the stuff I'm doing, but the one thing that was announced today is that I'm going to be running an adventure for the Necrobiotic TTRPG game that's out on Kickstarter. I think it came out literally today. I think I'm at like $50,000 stretch goal. So if we hit that,
Crack is a
we get
luxury if you can afford.
That's true.
if we hit that, you're going to be getting my. It's kind of like a murder mystery adventure with constructs and stuff. I'm very excited for it. There's going to be. I'll give this because Remy's here. There's going to be like a Sherlock Holmes equivalent in this adventure as well. He'll be like an NPC background character, but he's going to be in there.
Then that stretch goal really needs to get met because damn, I really want that.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything. There's other stuff, but haven't been announced yet, so I can't say anything.
Cool. Olivia.
Oh yeah, an announcement that I found out about like 2 seconds before we went live. The cover for my upcoming chapbook, which I think should be coming out sometime next week. I was told next Friday, but take that with a grain of salt. Sometime soon. And I actually just retweeted the cover. It's called Alternate Summer Where No One Dies, and it's going to, or the cover's up there now if you want to take a look. It's on my Twitter, which is the same as my name here. So
Awesome.
yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I feel like this has been in production for so long, so I'm so excited to see it come out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. All right. I think that's anything. Unless Remy, do you have anything that you're working on that you wanna?
Not anything going out, I guess, soon, but I do have commissions opening up again this Friday. So if you want something drawn or something made out of felt, I'll do it for money.
Amazing.
Just make sure you add that for money part.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's everything. So, without any further ado, let's get into tonight's episode of Infinite Horizon. And welcome back, everybody. Let's do the recap, shall we? Previously on Infinite Horizon. Sorry, I'm laughing because this is totally, you don't need to know this, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. John leaves memes for me to find in the recap scripts, and I just remembered the one that's in there. Thanks, John. Anyway, previously on Infinite Horizon, after the crew said goodbye to alternate universe Mason, they made their delivery for Kel winless and took to space to plan their next move. Before they'd gotten far, Wire called the crew and told them that she'd received a communication from the leadership of Sulon. Apparently, after the incident with the Silverfall and the Warped some months prior, Sulon was interested in joining the Resistance. Excited by the prospect of new allies, the crew set a course for the rogue asteroid community. With a new destination in place, it was finally time to confront the issue of Dr. Amrin. The crew talked in circles, weighing the moral implications of the situation, but were unable to come to a decision by the time they arrived at Sulon. In a pleasant change of pace, the crew of Awakener were greeted with open arms upon their arrival and shown to comfortable diplomats' quarters. Shortly afterwards, they met with Chancellor Arun Parikh and began negotiations to include Sulon as an active member of the Resistance. The conversation stretched into the evening as the crew and the Chancellor gained each other's trust, but ultimately they came to an agreement, and Sulon became the first independent state aligned with the Resistance. Although the new dawn of the Resistance looked bright, Peach retired that evening to a restless sleep filled with ominous dreams. And that is, that is where we left off. Right now, I think we're going to start, we're gonna start in the diplomat's quarters the next morning. As y'all are starting to wake up and move about your day, Peach. So a quick question for you, Olivia. Do you think Peach got back to sleep after that dream?
No,
Okay,
probably not.
fair enough.
Um,
yeah.
No, she probably would have gone and started to kind of like pace around the ship and like just kind of been thinking about it, waiting for everybody to wake up.
Okay. So you're back on you went back to Awakener?
Oh no, sorry. In the suite that we're in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But if anybody wakes up while Peach is like pacing aggressively around, like
yeah, I'll actually, you know what? I'll leave that up to any of you if you decide you want to. I saw Freeman reaching for the mic.
Yes, Mason's sleeping lightly and
Makes sense.
kind of wakes up. Okay, where is Pete? Where are you? Are you like
Right
we're
now,
all sleeping in the same. Are we all in the same suite right now?
yeah, all in the same suite,
Okay.
but there's a sort of a common room, and then there are like bedrooms that are and bathrooms that go off of the common room. So I bet Peach, you're probably in the common room at this point.
Yeah, I would have been in the common room, like pacing around. Like it's already clean, but she's just kind of like rearranging stuff, like kind of moving around, and probably something drops and might have woken you up.
Yeah, Mason hops out and throws on a pair of some slacks and like adjusts his suspenders a little bit, but he's not wearing like a dress shirt. It's just like an undershirt and kind of just walks out.
Mason, coffee. You want coffee?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I have coffee. And I found it over in this weird area. I think I figured out how to make it okay. I'm not exactly sure. But I'm going to hand it to you, and then you're going to sit down, and then I'm going to tell you some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I figured. I could hear you out here.
Yeah. And Peach is just gonna like kind of scramble and probably take a little bit too long getting the coffee because like she doesn't really know how this machine works.
Sounds good.
It's just a little button. Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Coffee
Okay.
check.
And just hand it over to Mason. Okay. So.
That's good.
Thanks. So, yeah. Terrible dream. But I don't really have dreams. So, yeah. And it was hard to describe, but I felt like there was a giant imminent monster of some kind watching me. I mean, not like a literal monster. There wasn't an image. I didn't see anyone, but it felt like some sort of, I don't know. I would say like if I was a spiritual person, I would say it felt like a evil god or something awful like that.
Did it feel? Was it close to how the artifact feels?
Was it the same, or was it like, I know I felt that sensation, but not quite to that degree with the artifact, right?
Yeah. It's basically it basically feels the same.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
it was much more intense than you'd ever felt it.
Well, I've studied the artifact quite a bit. I've had some interest in it, but I haven't experienced it to that degree, except for once when I used my abilities to lose that ship that was following us when Abriel, sabotaged.
Well, I've had bad dreams, but if you're having bad dreams, then
I think it has something to do with a conversation Patch and I had
Really?
Yeah. So, wait, is Patch with us or back on Awakener?
I think Patch stayed on Awakener.
On Awakener, right? Because
Mhm.
they didn't
Yeah.
want to come.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Patch stayed on Awakener.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to misquote Patch on it, but I don't scare super easily, and I'm pretty freaked out right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
And Peach is just kind of like, she hasn't been sitting this whole time. She's literally been like pacing around, which you haven't seen her like that too often.
Mason just kind of pulls his flask out and puts a couple of glugs in your coffee.
Oh, I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna take a sip.
Mason puts a little extra in his coffee that you gave him.
Yeah, I didn't want to wake everybody up, but I'm glad you're awake because I think we should go over it a couple times. And I'm just gonna spend like the next amount of time really describing in detail to you like the dream and the sensation and everything that happened in it, so that your detective eyes can get on it.
Detective of dreams. First time for everything, I guess.
Well, aren't you the best in the biz?
Look, I can't even decipher my own dreams, so...
I mean, you did the last job I paid you to do, technically.
Technically. That one kind of fell in our lap.
Oh.
And, well, I mean, I think there's nothing that we can really... There's nothing I can see right off the top. It's just strange. Your ability mixed with all the things going on right now. It might be some kind of...
It's a warning.
I was gonna say message, but yeah, same thing.
Or, I mean, really, it's a threat.
Can you tell me what the voice said again?
It said, thinking, aware.
Strange.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that should be either of those things. I can tell everybody about it later. I know we have some diplomatic things to iron out, but I just wanted to tell it while it was fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know it's not just some weird dream thing. I know it's something real, something scary.
I believe you.
Okay.
I believe you. We're gonna figure this out.
Well, I'm glad you're on the case.
I'm always on the case.
I guess cases. I have a lot of them these days.
Yeah. This is a breath of fresh air.
Really? It's a breath of fresh air. Good. Glad I could give you that fresh air.
Well, maybe we should get some real fresh air. I mean, we should probably step out here.
Do you want to go creep around the facility, find a way out?
I'm sure we have free access. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it could do me some good to get out of here. You see around, it's probably like kind of slightly arranged, like from when you went to sleep, like furniture is probably slightly moved, like things are just disturbed.
Yeah, you need to get out of here for a bit.
Well, it's really tacky in here. I would have spent more time, but it just had a lot on my mind. Okay, let's get some fresh air.
I'm gonna grab my coat real quick.
Okay, let's just go for. I mean, I'm just gonna wander around the facility.
All right. So the two of you just wander around what areas you can access in sort of the capital compound. For the most part, there aren't that many people stirring just yet. You can see that there are quite a few what looks like early morning custodial that are sort of in the process of setting up and cleaning for the day.
Morning.
You see a few of them just sort of nod to you. At one point, as you're walking through this facility, you even see one of the caretakers, the biomechanoid insectoid creatures, who are most often seen in the vicinity of conduits. If you recall, Sulon's population of caretakers are the only ones that are not on a conduit. But you see one of them who is sort of wandering through the corridors, and at one point, as you approach, you see their enormous mantis-like eyes turning in your direction. As they don't break trajectory, they keep moving the way they were going, but the head turns and just sort of fixates on the two of you as they just keep walking. And then as they move out of sight, just sort of vanish. But for the most part, you don't run into too many people, other than the occasional bureaucrat making an early entrance into work.
Passing the caretakers, I just turn to Mason and say, I'd like to pick their minds, but I'm not really sure what I'd find in there. Don't really want to look.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I think one mind at a time.
Yeah,
I think we should stick to keeping our mind to ourselves for now.
Well, yeah, I don't even know if it would work. Would it, if they're hive mind, would it go to all of them? Would it? Interesting to think about. In theory.
Sounds overwhelming.
Yeah. Have to look into that one later.
Yeah.
But
not now.
Just gonna keep on walking.
All right.
Nothing else eventful in her.
No, nothing particularly. After a short time, you start seeing as the artificial day cycle starts coming online. You start seeing more and more people beginning to flood the corridors of the Capitol compound, and eventually, as you just continue your circuit around, you eventually do find yourself kind of back in front of your temporary housing in the diplomat's quarters. I'm gonna go ahead and cut to a little while later, as the the rest of the crew awakens and begins preparing themselves for the day. You eventually, as you're all kind of waking up, you see Becker, who wasn't staying with you. He arrives this morning and steps inside. It says, "Well, good morning, everybody. It's a new dawn for the Resistance, apparently."
Yeah, apparently went better than expected.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what your plans are next, but I try not, as a rule, My extensive intelligence training has taught me that you never make any big decisions on an empty stomach. So, what do you say to heading down to the some of the to the market district? A lot of good food down that way this time of day.
We're
Did you-
interrupted
I won't say
last
no
time.
Did you hear my stomach growling? Is that why you're taking us?
He kind of looks at you and says, "No, but I definitely heard mine, so
Mm.
figured you
Who
might."
moved the couch?
Would you believe me if I said a caretaker? Oh no, it was me. It was me.
Yeah, everything's moved. Okay.
Becker just
I-
nods and says, "They do that sometimes."
I didn't sleep very well. I'll fill you guys in on the way.
So as you all start kind of gathering up your things, getting ready to walk out, you you are joined by Patch, who is just sort of hovering near the entrance to the Capitol compound, and drawing some stares from people as they pass. A couple of double takes. You even see one intern who is just sort of like shuffling a bunch of papers, look up and then just stare and walk right smack into a disposal bin, and the papers just go everywhere. Patch appears not to even take notice. But yeah, as you
Heron's still tired, so I think someone like just sleepily walks up to Patch and just hugs him, just hugs him, just casually like, morning.
Good morning. I was waiting for you to come. I figured there would be decisions to be made today.
Everyone keeps talking about decisions. Am I missing something? What is it? Is it yes? Everything that happened yesterday, right?
I simply meant that our current tasks are fulfilled and we must decide what is to come next.
Okay, sorry, I'm still hungry. I guess Becca was right. I shouldn't think on an empty stomach. I think we're heading to the market. Do you want to come with?
Yeah, Patch, why don't you come with us?
You see their head just sort of with single kind of monocular iris just sort of swivels, kind of glances around and says, "Yes, perhaps I will." As you all kind of start stepping out of the Capitol compound, it occurs to you that as you step out of the compound, and Becker basically he hails a one of the sort of larger cabs, that kind of comes in and lands just at the platform. It occurs. It's not lost on all of you that this will be the first time since all of this started that you will have been able to go out in public without worrying about who is potentially going to recognize you and hunt you.
I think this means that we have more time to shop openly. Is that?
You looking for a new outfit, Peach?
Well, I mean, I really don't have that many. I really think that I should just kind of switch it up every once in a while for morale, right?
Morale is very important.
I think fun colors really help with morale.
Vix just looks at you, kind of gives you the sideways look. He says, "Whose morale, yours or everybody else's?"
I mean, what's good for me is good for us all.
Having lived with
What's
you
good for you is good for me.
Having lived with you for almost 100 years, I can confirm that.
Vix, I think you just also want a new outfit. I think that's why you're grumpy. But I can help you pick something out if you like.
You know, I've sure it. I'm not getting out of this, am I?
You said yeah. Oh, you never say yes. Oh,
That's because usually
okay.
I can escape, but
So like 2 hours tops. Okay, like
2
maximum 2 hours.
hours.
That's just the long. That's the maximum amount of time. We'll probably be done in 1.5, most likely.
Mason walks up and kind of squeezes Vix
After breakfast.
around the shoulders, like, you can't get out of this one, buddy. Plus, I need a new hat.
Hey, last time you were here on Sulan, we had way less fun, so we have to have a good time this time.
It has historically been very stressful for us on Sulan, so I'm excited.
I'm still pretty stressed on Sulan, but new clothes will make me 5% less stressed.
That's a significant amount.
I'm curious how you have done your calculations.
I just made them up. I'm gonna continue to walk.
All right. We'll cut to a little while later as you all are kind of in the market square. For the first time in a really long time, y'all are able to be in public, and it's weird. It's weird.
It's weird for our quarantine brains. It's weird for our
Yeah,
horizon
you're looking around, and there are occasionally you'll get some double takes from people, but you see it's more that kind of thing where like you see somebody seems to recognize you and then go nah. So, so it's
Could be.
yeah, it's like no way. But yeah, you hold on, I have things for this.
Above game. Is this when Taeon? This is where Taeon first met everyone, right?
Yeah.
Is it Suno? Yeah, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot's happened on Sulan.
Yeah, I was
Multiple
making
different
sure.
times.
So, you find yourselves just sort of in a crowded market, sort of splitting off to kind of just grab whatever food you can.
I need to find somebody who will make me an Adilla soda. That's all I need. That's all I want. That's
Yeah.
like where it's like carbonated water and you pump the syrup. That's all. That's all beautiful.
Yeah, you're able to find that pretty easily. The nice thing about Sulan being just such a huge cultural mix is that you can find just about anything. It's not just, while it started out as the first actual human colony in this galaxy, it has grown far beyond that now, and it is just a huge influx of various cultures, and nowhere is that more reflected than in the market district, specifically food. But yeah, the smells of the street food that are just permeating the air make those of you who hadn't become aware that you were hungry realize it now. As you move from place to place, gathering up whatever you can, and eventually you're able to you kind of all kind of come back together, and you know what? Just because we haven't done it since then, what kind of food y'all getting? We haven't done this since Sulan, back the first time.
Okay, so the thing is that we got the first time we were here, before we knew we were terrorists.
You know, when you just find out, you know.
There was a food that we had that we didn't recognize and never had before, and it was like soft nuts. Is that the dinioka?
Yeah.
Okay, then Bina's never had that before, and has not had it since. So it's definitely gonna scout that out.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to find because that's one of those foods that like has become kind of culturally ubiquitous, where like it started out in one place, but then basically now everybody has sort of well, not everybody, but now there's sort of a whole variety of iterations on it. So yeah, you can find some dimyoka easily.
Cool. Haven't had that in 6 months, and need more. It's good. She's
Yeah.
been haunting her dreams. She needs more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they are effectively they are a rich nut that when cooked are sort of have the consistency of like ricotta cheese.
They're like this big. They're like the size
Yeah.
of ping pong balls.
Yeah. They're like the size
Yeah,
of like a
fun
whole
sauces
like a
over the
walnut.
top of it, and like
Yeah.
Oh, I think Tane would definitely get one of those as well. Some dinioka.
Yeah.
And, classic is breakfast. So obviously, he has to have bagels for breakfast. So he has his bagels of bacon spread across it because it reminds him of home. He hasn't been back home for a while now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
the-
definitely
the
looking.
lichen-
Oh, go ahead.
I was asking the lichen bagel spread.
Yeah.
Very good.
If you just have been looking for some kind of like breakfast Anzalonian stand that has like, kind of like puffy breads or something like that.
Yeah. That's honestly, I feel like that's probably one of the easiest things to find.
Yeah.
Like a place like this, a place like Sulan, that kind of stuff goes over really well. Like I will say, it is street food, so it's difficult to find like real like it's not even Anzalonians making it. So like it's
Yeah.
in this particular case, it's not even Anzalonians making it, and it's fine.
I mean,
It's
I haven't
fine.
had the authentic things in a while, so this tastes pretty close. And just take a bite and like chew it and try to imagine it tastes like what it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's like it's not quite subtle enough. Like it's a little ham-fisted in terms of like the flavorings of stuff. So it's not quite up to like Enzalonian standards, but it's fine.
Vix, I think when I was over visiting Mom, I should have gotten dinner out of it.
He said, "Yeah, if there's one thing you can count on Mom for, it's to splurge when it comes to food."
I just wanted the little fried balls of deliciousness.
Yeah.
But they're so light
Yeah.
and citrusy.
He shrugs and just says, "That's why I don't bother." And you can see as he just picks up just like a huge helping of purple noodles and just sort of shoves like the whole thing into his mouth, just like strands of noodles just sort of like hanging out of his mouth. Just sort
Yeah, that looks good too.
Mason's just got the biggest bowl of purple noodles with like
Yes.
a bunch of broth, some some kind of green sprout, some meat.
Excellent. As you're sitting
You
there,
and Vix are slurping.
yeah, as you're sitting there, Alma leans across the table and she goes, did you know that it's fascinating actually that every culture in the known galaxy has some iteration of purple noodles. I mean, the tuber that it's made out of is found on every planet of origin of every species. It's a fascinating thing. We in the xenoanthropology community are it's honestly one of the things that has fascinated the xenoanthropology community for as long as as long as anybody knew about it.
Have you tried a lot of them? What's your favorite?
I'm more of a fan of the classic, just simple butter and salt, maybe a little bit of garlic.
Solid choice.
Is that what she's eating?
Yeah, it is
She did.
definitely.
Good.
I will say,
In this house, we freaking love the purple noodles.
yeah. So, CT,
Yes.
as you've been walking through the crowded streets of the Sulan market, the sort of scope of your task has really just been weighing on you at this point. Like you're not even entirely sure where to start. As you kind of are moving through the crowd, if you actually as you're looking through, you notice just it's a more crowded morning than usual, but you're kind of chalking that up to like some of the latest supply ships. Basically this is supply day essentially. Like this is where a lot of like the larger ships bringing like basically ice barges and cargo vessels. They basically all pretty much come in on a schedule, and today is sort of a day where they all kind of coincided. So it's likely due to that. The additional like foot traffic is due to that. As you are making your way through the streets, however, there's a moment where something catches your attention. You notice a group of people, and a couple of Anzalonians, a man and a woman. You notice a couple of humans, a Chemoth, which sort of only one Chemoth, which is a little odd. There's an Orzai, just sort of moving through, and as you focus on them, some information just kind of clicks. You know that these people are like you.
Interesting.
As you stand and sort of observe them for a while, going from place to place, picking up food, you see as they kind of converge on a table, and as you're kind of watching them, curious, you also notice another figure join them. You notice, even more odd than the Chemoth by himself, you notice a Voxora who walks over to the table, sits down with them, and just sort of starts observing all of the food that they are eating and consuming.
I think that is probably the biggest shock that he has had in a very, very long time. And it was not very in it, would probably be stopping and staring a little bit too long if anyone managed to look, just happen in his direction.
Could Taeyeon notice?
You know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm actually gonna have you. I'm gonna have you make a roll on this one to see. It's not to determine whether or not you notice. It's to determine how long it takes you to notice. So,
yeah. Okay.
Whether or not you notice immediately, basically, is what this roll is for. So this is gonna be a intellect roll. The difficulty on this, it's not gonna be very high. The difficulty on this is gonna be a 3. So.
Okay. Well, I'm trained in tasks involving science.
That's true. You sure are.
I'm going that down to a 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's pretty much it. Is this an intellect?
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll use a 3 level effort to bump it down to a 1.
All right, excellent. So you just need a 3 or better.
Thank God, 'cause I got a 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Minimum.
So Taeyeon, just sort of as you're sitting, just kind of happily munching away, you notice out of the corner of your eye a sudden cessation of movement. Like you notice, there's been sort of like movement kind of in your peripherals or whatever, and then just you notice out of the corner of your eye somebody just stops, like suddenly. And looking in that direction, Remy, would you like to describe your character?
Yes. CT is a fairly short to average height human-looking person with white hair and brown skin. Looks business casual, sort of, but is kind of put off by the fact that he is wearing some big black sunglasses that totally obscure his eyes completely. And probably what you would notice then the most next is that he has a mechanical tail that is just kind of hovering, or is attached to his backside, obviously, but is probably just as still as he is in this situation.
Okay, so I think Tyrion just keeps eating like he acts natural, and as he's eating, he kind of turns. I think Mason's hearing is decent, right? Like especially if it's adaptability. So I think like under his breath while he's eating, he says, "We have company. Just give me a sec." And as he was about to take the next bite, he's gonna teleport behind. He's gonna teleport behind CT,
In the
put a
middle
hand
of
on
the
his shoulder, and
market?
teleport CT back to us.
We hear the
Hi.
True Awakener are so goddamn dramatic. Cena's doing the thing with Patch that we've done a couple times where like try to project emotions of what food tastes like to Mina. Like, and he's like, "Whoa, where'd he go? Oh, hello."
Yeah.
Like,
So basically, CT, from your perspective, you think that maybe like you realize in that moment your shock sort of stopped you for a little bit too long, and you feel like maybe you might have been noticed, but like as that thought is starting to come to you, all of a sudden you watch as the Chemoth just vanishes. You feel a hand on your shoulder, and as you're turning, suddenly like the world just sort of like it. Basically, what this looks like to you is like you're suddenly looking through like a fishbowl or like a fishbowl lens, right? Like fisheye lens, like the world just sort of, and the space between you and the table just sort of folds, and suddenly you're just at the table.
So,
Oh, whoa.
Vix looks
Hi.
up and goes, "Hi."
Pan, do you know this person?
no, but he gave me the heebie-jeebies for staring at us for quite a
That
bit.
is quite rude, I would say. I just kind of stopped for a moment.
a lot of people have been looking at us today, Tan. I don't know. Hi, nice to meet
This
you.
one felt different.
Hello.
We're eating breakfast if you want to join us.
I am afraid I have already eaten today. I do not require anything else to eat.
Tan, were you going to go somewhere else with this, or?
No, I was going to ask, can we help you?
Yes. However, I was hoping to observe you a little bit longer than I was able to. But you are you from a ship that is currently docked here in Sulan?
It depends on who's asking.
I mean this with no ill intent. It is just simply a curiosity.
Well, we don't live
Someone
on
else.
Sulan, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, that is what I was asking.
I'm Peach, nice to meet you. And
It is nice to meet you. I suppose introduction should be in order. My name is CT.
Ina Elba, and she's got two hands holding her food, one eating, and extends one out to shake your hand.
Yeah, you'll reach over and try shake. Yeah, just shake your hand.
I'm Taeon.
Hang on.
I guess I'm Mason.
It is good to meet you, and the rest of you. Looking at the
Yeah.
rest of the table.
Vix just goes, "Oh, I'm Vix," and you see Alma just says, "I'm Alma Becker."
great forced introductions, everybody.
Yes, I apologize for intruding upon your meal.
Oh, it was okay. It was really I guess Taeon really intruded on your stroll, but
I mean, they did admit that they were observing us. So I guess I intruded on their observation.
Do you have
I'm
some-
sorry, I should probably have asked. What are your pronouns?
They are he, him. Thank you for asking.
Do you have some reason for being here?
Yes, I do, and my reason is my hand has been forced a little bit due to the actions of Taeon. However, I suppose it is still. I shall still follow through with what I intended to do.
Would you like us to go somewhere more private?
Yes, if that would not be too much of an imposition upon you.
God, we're just ruining this guy's day. Is what's happening. It's making his life so hard.
He's like, I had everything planned, and now.
However, if you have other duties you would wish to attend to for the rest of this day, we can arrange for a time later on.
Are we in a
No,
rush?
no, I'm all paid up here. I think we should see what this is all about.
I mean, I know Vix. I know really wanted to go shopping, but I think that maybe we could do it another time if we have to delay it.
Oh, well, I mean, if we have to delay it, we have to delay it. I mean, clearly this this gentleman here has important business to discuss with us, and, we can always shop another time.
Okay.
Fina shoves the entire last Inyoka ball in her mouth and goes, I'm gonna go! And, pulls up her garbage.
Yeah.
She kind of gives a longing look back to the shop, and then...
Yeah. Becker stands up and he just goes, well, if you've got somewhere in mind, lead the way.
I unfortunately do not. It would be hopefully a discussion made over a different meal. However, you seem to have already gotten your fill up on that, so perhaps I can try to locate someplace very quickly.
Becker glances around and says, well, I know there's a small cafe nearby, relatively quiet, private rooms.
That would be suitable.
Dessert after breakfast.
It should be.
All right, so you all get up, following Becker through the streets, eventually making your way out of the market district and into actually a pretty cozy looking coffee shop. As Becker described it, you can see that there's sort of a main area, like a kind of a central area where there's, a whole bunch of tables and things like that. There's even a small stage in kind of the back part of it. And then there's just sort of an open hallway that leads down, where you can see a variety of rooms that lead off of it. Most of which they kind of look like private booths is what they look like. And Becker walks up to the counter and he says, he nods to the woman at the counter, a human woman who looks at him and goes, "Oh, usual." He nods and says, "Number 8." She says, "Great." And reaches back, grabs a key card, passes it over to Becker. Says, "Thanks." And just you continues on into the hallway. At which point he stops in front of one of the doors, swipes the key card in front of it, and the door opens into a really nice kind of cozy room that has just sort of one table at the center of it, and probably 10 chairs or so around the table. And as kind of Becker ushers you all inside, he closes the door behind, and just sort of runs a finger along. Kind of like the door itself is just sort of like a single frame with like a window in it. He runs his finger along the window, which immediately turns opaque. And he turns back, and as you all seat yourselves at the table, Becker turns to you and looks at you expectantly and just goes, "So."
In private company, it would not be improper to assume that you are also powered individuals, yes?
Vic's just gonna. What gave you that idea?
I heard an also in there. Meaning
You too.
Yes. Which is why you are incredibly interesting to observe just from afar, to be honest.
I just want to know how Suki's doing in this one. Like, just like surface level emotion. Like, how we feeling about being had this your whole day derailed by this.
A little bit scrambly, but
Understandable. Cool.
trying to keep it cool.
Good.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this a little bit further, and just say that you're able to pick that up. There's something odd about the specific texture of emotion that you're getting, but you're able to parse that much at least from it.
Does it perhaps feel similarly to how I experience patch emotions?
Possibly.
Okay, I'll take it.
Oh.
It's a little too faint. It's more like just sort of a general fuzziness around the emotion itself. So it's hard to say specifically, but yeah.
I was perhaps hoping to rehearse this speech a little bit later, so you will forgive the pauses in what I choose to disclose.
No, take your time. Go
However,
ahead.
I represent a individual that is currently seeking others that would seek to accompany them upon an expedition towards an uncharted section of space. However, the true nature of this is being strictly guarded, and I would not be at liberties to discuss the full details until you give your word that you will not share such information elsewhere.
An expedition that requires more than one super powered person.
The nature of the expedition seems to be of a more unusual kind that requires much more manpower than would be immediately necessary towards any other section of space. The assumption is that it will be quite dangerous and protection is needed.
Interesting.
I understand that you can't tell us the nature of the mission itself, which I will be honest is a bit of a red flag, but how about the individual you're here on behalf of? Could we have a name?
Lucas, am I allowed to name this individual?
I've actually got that already, but I think that also falls under the purview of the non-disclosure agreement.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That is fair. They would be. They have requested that I do not disclose that until you accept the conditions of this non-disclosure.
Tell us anything
NDAs.
about them, like.
Do they know who they're working? Do they know who they're talking to? Like, do they know us at all?
I am sure that they probably do. They are an individual in a high position, so it would behoove you to take that into consideration. They probably do not know that I am speaking with you directly, as you are just some of several candidates that could be chosen for such an expedition.
Okay, well now I'm even more curious. We're some of other candidates, so you know of others and their location, I'm guessing?
Not necessarily. There are many people that could be potentially capable for this job. However, you have been cited as being probably the most capable in order to accomplish said task.
I mean, flattery will take you somewhere. He's going to look to everyone else. I mean, it sounds interesting. The fact that I don't know anything about it, but also sounds dangerous.
It is probably going to be very dangerous.
Okay.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm intrigued.
My
We have a little bit of-
curiosity has been piqued.
We have a little bit of downtime, I guess.
I mean, we could at least meet with the person.
It's probably worth noting that the NDA is not the same as signing a contract.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's at
Yeah,
least
no,
it's not like you sign this and you get all the information after you've agreed to do it. It's
Free
more
to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Well, as long as, I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone else, but as long as it's not very clearly wrong, I guess we're all okay with at least not speaking to anyone about it. Is that enough for you to tell us anything else, or do you have to outright agree to the mission without knowing the mission?
Consider this an initial interview process.
Just watching CT sweat this whole time.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to.
No, it's so fucking funny.
Oh, sorry, Bina does that sometimes.
she just starts glowing. That's
Well,
I mean, it's not why I made the door opaque, but you know, I figured.
Yeah.
So, CT, are you from Sulon? Live here long?
I've been here quite a few times, but I am not a native individual as I have asked you before.
Okay. Great. Well, always nice to meet new friends.
so,
Especially when they're not actively trying to kill us the first time we meet them. That's always a good sign.
Vix just says,
No,
I said I'm sorry.
Well, it wasn't the first time, so.
No, I am not here to attack you or cause you any harm. I am mostly asking for assistance as being a representative.
I mean, as long as we can opt out if we suddenly find out that it's
bad,
horrible and maligned or something, but yeah, I mean,
but we should look into it.
no
At
hurt in
least.
meeting. Yeah.
Patch leans forward and looks at you and just says, "This is a matter of great importance to you."
Yes, it is.
Patch doesn't hesitate and turns and says, "I think we should do it."
Whoa. I mean,
Okay.
okay.
Bean is immediately like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if Patch gives you the okay, I'm not gonna say no to that.
Mason pulls out his spyglass and kind of just blows on it and polishes it, and I'm not going to sit this one out.
I mean, don't want to disregard the wisdom of Patch, so.
Becker goes, "Look, I've kind of got my own mission I'm on here, but I'll at the very least sign whatever it is to this NDA to at least know what's going on. Sort of my job, anyway."
Understood.
Becker's very good with secrets.
That is good enough for me and perhaps my employer as well.
Should we sign it now? And Peach just holds like a pen just appears in her hand.
Yeah, I guess pulls out a piece of paper from his coat and just slides it across the table.
So do you
Super
always
analog,
carry these
we love
around
it.
with you? It seems a little bit heavy, maybe you have one of those packs and just gonna take a look at the contract really quick, like reads it super fast.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, this seems okay.
Yeah, it's a
And
pretty
then-
standard NDA language in there. It's
Still use paper. I appreciate that.
It is easy to keep records this way.
and you can't hack it either.
That
And
is
he
the
gets to use
purpose
your
of why it
signature.
is paper.
All right.
Peach is looking at everybody's signature.
Yeah.
It's like,
Of course.
Is the-
Jerk.
Wow. My signature, Taylor's signature is his thumbprint. I've decided. he just goes boop.
Excellent.
Do you not have like an ink pad? You have to scribble with your pen a little
Yeah,
bit. And
usually
then,
he would have
like-
ink pad, he doesn't, so he just goes, hold on, give me a sec.
I can. All right, and Peach will hand you one.
Oh, okay. And just puts a
Perfect.
thumbprint down.
All right. As this gets passed around to everyone in the room, everyone signs it, and eventually you do get it back, CT. And just sort of looking through it, you can see everybody has signed on the appropriate places. And yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what I should say next to this.
Hold on, I'm gonna send you
Okay.
this info real quick. So
You know, I can get everybody refills if you want. If we want coffee or pastries.
There's this
Anybody?
like a
Good.
tea. It's like an opaque tea.
Okay.
It's green
Okay.
from the Orzai homeworld. You won't be able to pronounce the name, but it's like opaque green. Just ask for the Orzai lichen tea. They'll
Okay. I will ask for the Orzai lichen tea.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Any Mason coffee? CT, what's your coffee order?
Do not worry about that. Well, just get it a black coffee, please.
Okay. Are you sure I can give you lichen Orzai tea? You know, a steamed beverage, iced cold.
A simple black coffee will suffice for me. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And I'm just gonna go get refills for
Yeah.
everybody.
all right. Coffee acquired. Y'all settle in. And Becker looks over and says,
Hmm.
"All right, we've signed your thing. Now, you gonna tell us anything?"
Yes. The expedition is the Olympus Initiative, being led by Colwyn Hayes. Are you familiar with this individual?
Are we?
Are
Hmm.
we?
I suspect that none of you would be. Becker nods in some recognition of the name, but otherwise, no. I don't think anybody would recognize that name. Becker nods. Yeah, he's some kind of rich entrepreneur of sorts. Always out for always funding all kinds of research and just fringe stuff. I don't know too much about him myself, but I know he's one of the I wouldn't say major players on Sulan, but he gets around.
Mr. Colwyn Hayes has come into some information that is being used as the directive for this expedition. And he has taken it upon himself to not just try to fund it, but to lead it, and bringing talented and useful individuals to as I said, an uncharted section of space that is rumored to have ancient technology and remnants of ancient civilizations.
Alma leans forward across the table.
Yeah.
She just like sits up and like glances around and says, "Ancient. I mean, are we talking? I mean, are we talking old civilization or like pre Commonwealth, or are we talking older?"
It is being imply that it is much older than the Commonwealth itself.
Hmm.
Alma glances sideways at you, Bina, and just sort of gives you kind of like a
Beat just like nodding,
Yeah.
I was just, like, I don't have anything smart to say, but like, yes, we're on the same page. Like,
Becker leans across the table and says, "When you say Uncharted, where exactly? I mean, we're not talking about Border Worlds, are we? I mean,
Perhaps, and it is most likely leading in that direction.
I will say one thing that I would say the general general direction that you're heading
Mhm.
into, that the expedition is heading into, which is kind of out towards one of the uncharted quadrants of space. So away from on the other side
Okay.
of the known galaxy
Okay.
from the border worlds.
Hmm.
Okay.
Most notably out kind of where the only people who have made headway exploring out that way thus far has been corporate.
Ooh.
this like south quadrant, or like
If you're looking
Sorry,
if you're looking at the galaxy, it would actually be like the northeastern quadrant.
yeah, okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so not to the sheer, not towards that, or is that up there? I don't remember which part of space
What,
with all the dark
the
space.
tatters? Yeah, that would be up that
Tatters,
direction.
yeah. It is in that
Mhm.
direction? No, oh
Yeah.
boy, okay.
Hmm.
Huh. Ancient knowledge. Kind of looks over to Patch. Old knowledge.
Patch is avoiding your gaze.
Mason kind of keys into that point. Kind of notices that.
I mean, I'm interested, especially with that piece of information.
Becker leans across the table
Absolutely.
and just says, would you mind if we discuss this matter in private for a moment?"
No, and I was about to excuse myself in order for you to be able to do so.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he'll take his leave very quickly.
Yeah. As the door closes behind CT and Becker goes, "All right, what are y'all thinking?"
It has to be artifact related, right?
Or something adjacent, similar.
This guy Hayes, he isn't involved with any corpse, is he?
Near as I can tell, no. I mean, he's had dealings with the corpse before, but he's not corporate affiliated himself.
Okay. Well, that's a good
Good.
sign at least.
Yeah.
Largely inherited wealth, family wealth. Your classic rich kid with more money than sense. Pours it into every kind of fringe scientific case that comes up. Some pseudoscience, even a little bit of funding expeditions, much like the one we're being pitched here.
So this one is a lot more real. I definitely think we should come along. I think we're probably the people who know the most about what this could be than anyone.
This is important.
Patch, I haven't seen you this. Is the word assertive? I don't know if that's the right word for it. but you
Very,
seem
very
eager.
interested.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say that this CT, I trust him.
Well, that's good enough for me.
What makes you say that?
I am it's not something that I can explain.
Can't explain or not allowed to explain? Which one?
Functionally, these are no different.
Patch. Well, I'm super interested.
Alma just raises her hands. Yes, me too. And if we're all being hired as specialists on some kind of expedition, one that involves ancient technology and ancient cultures potentially, you're going to need somebody who's actually an expert on those things. So,
Yeah, no, that's very true. So then, okay, I still feel like we still have a lot of things to deal with, right? Do we have to give? I don't know how this honestly works. Usually, I'm just in charge of a small squad. Do you have to give the diplomats like a heads up that we're heading out? Are we coming back? Is this the last day here?
So, I mean, we can go and let them know. I mean, we've kind of discussed some preliminary things, but they can do dealings with Wire and the rest of the folks. We don't have to do it directly.
Makes sense.
But we should definitely meet with this Hayes before we agree to anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Who knows what he
Even
wants
if it
out
is
of there?
just to make sure that they don't come along. They don't sound, more money than sense. Isn't exactly the type of person you want to bring to a potentially dangerous location.
And most likely they don't even want to go.
CT specifically said that he's leading the expedition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to find out what he wants. I wonder what CT wants with it.
Becker nods and says, "All right, like I said, I've got my own mission that I'm working on at the moment. So I probably won't be joining you. Got a few leads to chase down on Sulan. Still trying to track down that riot person. She's our in with the criminal syndicate out in the border worlds, and so far haven't been able to find much, but I've got a couple leads that I might be chasing down. So I actually can't leave, but just a word of advice. If you're going to go off on this expedition chasing this down, I wouldn't recommend bringing a prisoner with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we were planning to.
Wire said that you were going to extract them. What was your plan? And do you have to do it now?
The thing is, my plan was to accompany, is to take custody of Dr. Amarin and keep her somewhere here where I can watch her until I can figure out what to do with her. I have somewhere here that I can keep her, but
We can, when we come back, we can work that out because I don't think we've fully figured that out yet.
okay.
But if you've got a place for her, that'll be, pause point until we can come back to that.
Yeah. Also, just as a thought, something to consider. If you're going on this expedition, this guy's not just a eclectic billionaire. He's also a collector of sorts, and I would think twice before putting Awakener anywhere close to him.
So we're going to keep Awakener here?
It's up to you, but it's if you decide to leave Awakener, I will make sure that she's taken care of.
And if this guy's a billionaire, he probably has some nice ships for us to use anyway.
No, makes sense. I guess less people who get eyes on Awakener, the better, honestly.
Yeah, we haven't agreed to anything yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say it's worth meeting this guy and hearing him out. Then make your decision.
Wouldn't be bad to have an ally of a billionaire.
Wow.
Hmm.
We have enough enemies.
That's
I
true.
It
mean,
depends
there
on
are-
the billionaire.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think there are many good billionaires.
Next to none, if none.
Can't even really conceptualize how much that is.
Anyway, I've got to be heading back. Got a few things
Hmm.
to take care of. Are you all good here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He slides the key card across to Bina, who's closest to him. Says, "Just hand it back when you're done." And he gets up and says, "Want me to send him back in?"
Yeah.
All right. Becker walks out. CT on the outside, just sort of waiting, kind of in the hallway. Becker steps out and he looks at you and says, "Yeah, we're pretty much done. You can go in."
Thank you.
And he just makes his way out of the places.
Yeah. CT will step back inside and hands out. What have you decided?
Yeah. We'll meet. We'll meet.
Yeah, Mr. Hayes.
Yes.
We'll meet with him and talk.
Like to
Still
hear it from him.
on the edge. Yeah, we would like to hear from him first before we fully agree, but we're interested.
That is good to hear, and I can send along coordinates for a meeting position. It is still early in the day, and I believe that Mr. Colwyn Hayes has other matters to attend to. So you may accomplish whatever shopping goals you were trying to accomplish.
Vix just
That is
groans.
so good to hear.
Taylor like nudges Nixon aside. Do you hear that? You can get to go shopping.
I get to go shopping.
CT, before we all part ways, what's your interest in this Olympus initiative?
I am hired on as an individual to locate other individuals that would be suitable for an expedition.
And is that your interest or is that your job?
It is my job. What is it different from my interest?
Okay. Fair enough. Can I tell if CG's bullshitting me?
Is there any
this is a
going on
fun
here?
this is a fun thing that we don't get to do very often. It's a fun thing
Oh,
we don't get to
boy.
do very often. So in this instance, I'm considering Peach as the active player, and CT is the passive. So in this case, we're gonna say so Remy, go ahead and take anything that would relate to like resisting any of like deception or any of that sort, or whatever you want to use, persuasion, whatever kind of stuff you want to use. And for each
Mhm.
thing that you have, it I believe counts as 3.
Okay. Let me look at what I got.
Or
Hmm.
hold on, I said last time I was going to look this up. I'm gonna actually. I know that
We say that about everything.
I say that
we
about
don't
everything,
remember.
and it never happens, which is why I'm gonna do it right now. So
Welcome, Raiders.
Well, it's
Raiders,
fresh
hello! Thank you so much,
Raiders.
Chaos Grape, for the raid.
Hey.
I'm trying to find out if someone's being sus or not.
Okay, there is a place somewhere in here. Let me use this. Actually, tell you what, we'll leave in this moment of suspense because it is time for break, and I'll use break so that nobody's just sitting here watching me like look up
Yes.
rules. We're just gonna
Yeah.
go into break, and we'll have
What?
this.
That's so
We'll have
fun.
we'll have this this check after break. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Feel free to get up and move out the cabin. We will see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you, pilot.
And yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back, everybody, just in the nick of time before I accidentally reveal spoilery information to my players. Well, hello, everybody.
Woo!
Damn it, we nearly got him. We're so
Yeah.
close.
Oh, Next time.
We are back from break. When we left off, we were in a bit of a tense situation where Peach was had asked CT about his interest in this expedition personally, and CT says it's my job. At which point, Peach, being Peach, decided to become the human bullshit or Anzalonian bullshit detector that she is. I think we looked up the rules. Did you talk about this while I was gone, Caitlin, or did you explain while I was gone?
Oh, nope.
Okay, cool. So basically, the way that this works is both of you are going to be making opposed rolls, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking any of your relevant skills and abilities and treating them as, well, not abilities, but your relevant things. Anything that would reduce the difficulty of a normal roll instead gets turned into a 3 that you add to your roll.
Ah, okay, cool.
Okay.
This is a pleasant social interaction?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I suppose that's really up to CT. No.
Am I being
mean,
pleasant?
We're not firing guns at each other.
It's a
so
very
I
low
guess-
bar.
That's a real low bar. Only
Okay.
punching each other is fine, you know.
Okay. Because I'm trained in deception, would this mean that I'm good at seeing through deceptions as well?
Don't think so. I'm not.
Darn.
They're separate skills.
They are
I know.
separate.
I was
Yeah.
just I was just hoping to stretch it.
Yeah.
That's Mason's thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I have a potentially negative thing, I shouldn't necessarily put it in there. Should I?
I think it's still. What specifically do you have?
I have arrogance, which is, you mentioned pleasant social interaction, that it would make
this-
social interactions more
Is
difficult.
this is an inability that you have, or is this?
Yeah.
Okay, that's incredible. I love that.
Awkward CUT.
No, it's that's gonna count as a -3. It's gonna count as a -3.
Okay.
Oh no.
I have a +6 right now to this roll. I'm just
Oh
saying.
god.
I mean, I'm trained in deception, so that's plus. So I'm net
Yeah,
positive.
just, ultimately,
Yeah,
it sort of
yeah.
like breaks even there. Yeah.
Cool.
Um,
I don't think I have anything
Okay.
else for this, so I'm just gonna roll.
Could I argue that it would be some kind of intimidation?
how so?
I don't know.
No.
That was just-
No.
Then I'm net 0,
All right,
baby.
great.
Flat roll.
All right. Well then, y'all can go ahead and roll.
I rolled a 10 total.
All right, Remy.
And I rolled a flat 15.
Okay.
you go.
All right. So you're not exactly sure. You can't really get a read on this person, Peach. CT is a little odd. There's especially and you're not sure if it's a product of the very sudden introduction into the group, or if it's a matter of just sort of if there's something else kind of at play. But either way, whatever it is, you're not really sure how to read his reaction.
Smiles in a very big grin.
Peach resists the urge to go beneath that surface and just kind
Oh
of
god.
just she thinks about it for a second and then is like, nope, not polite, just met him. And and then just kind of nods.
That's right, everybody. Invasion of personal mind boundaries is something we reserve for friends only.
Well, at least
She
a
also,
second.
she also
time,
doesn't know
you
what his deal is, so she's like, she doesn't really know
Sure.
what would happen.
All right. well then, in that instance, then our so
Shopping.
conversation concluded. Yeah, y'all kind of part ways. Um, I'm going to, before we get to anything that y'all are doing, I'm gonna go ahead and cut to just a short time later, CT, as you are returning to you're returning to Mr. Hayes's estate, um, and as you walk up to the doors, to his office, one of his personal security just sort of nods, just sort of like holds up a hand and then just opens the door, looks inside, um, and you can see Mr. Hayes. He's Calvin Hayes, human male, probably in his he's in his kind of early 50s. Hair gone completely gray, as he sort of is currently uh, seemingly listening to like a news broadcast. And as the door opens, he glances over and just sort of and the security turns to you and says, "Go on in."
Nods and
Mhm.
heads on in.
He you can see as he leans back in his chair and mutes the news broadcast. He says, "Well, CT, you have anything new for me?"
I believe I do, sir. I have located several individuals that I believe would probably come as a package to aid for you in your expedition.
Well, my expedition's not lacking in bodies, so what's special about these people? Are they special? Do we have some specialists on the team, or am I gonna have to go out and find some new people?
I believe that they are very well rounded in their own right. However, you would be allying yourself with people recently branded as terrorists and now as allies in a revolutionary war effort.
Well, he like looks at you for a moment and says, "Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine." He leans back and says, "As long as they can get the job done, I'm I'm I trust that I've hired the right person to hire the right people for me."
They have requested to meet with you directly in order to ascertain the validity of the job offer, so to speak.
Really? Hmm. That's some audacity on their part. I like it. Says, "All right. I'll." He kind of glanced over. Says, "I'll admit, I'm curious. Uh, yeah." He kind of looks over at the at you can see like the wall panel, um, and he calls out Central, and you can hear the computerized voice, uh, just respond. Hold on, let me just make sure I have the right.
Yes, sir.
uh, Clear my afternoon. And you just, CT, you just hear a slight beep of acknowledgement, and then just,
All appointments for this afternoon have been cleared.
great, great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. You know, he stands up and just sort of paces over to the window that kind of looks out, over the kind of towards the center of Sulon, where you can see the traffic in the middle of the day. He says, "I'm so close, CT, so close to a major discovery. Something it's gonna. I have a good feeling about the Olympus initiative. This is gonna be the one. I'm telling you."
And I am happy to accompany you on that venture, sir.
And he turns around and says, "Well, of course. Why wouldn't you be? This is a major discovery. This is gonna change everything. I'm telling you, this is gonna change everything for centuries, millennia to come."
Indeed, sir.
All right. Well, guess I better prepare for my meeting with these not exactly terrorists.
No, sir. You may perhaps call them the crew of the Awakener.
Awakener. Why have I heard that before? Huh. You see as he like goes over to his console and like without sitting down, just sort of like, pulls it up and goes, "Ha! Oh, you weren't. Oof. I knew I hired the right person to go hire people for me." And he sits down. He says, "This will be interesting." At which point, we're gonna go ahead and cut back to the crew of Awakener. As y'all are, you've got your afternoon ready. I'm gonna go ahead and say, we're gonna kind of probably not play through the shopping episode.
Yeah, fair.
Everyone roll to shop.
Yeah, roll to shop.
Okay.
Yeah,
just
are there ciphers in this shop?
For sale.
Yeah, just all the shops sell level 8 mouthwash. So
Perfect.
all of the shops.
Good.
That's the only.
The only ciphers available on the entirety of
Yeah.
Ceylon.
Just know that Vix complained a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
And Peach found him a really cute outfit.
Excellent.
Mason looked for hats, but none of them spoke to him. So
Yeah.
Taeyeon got those like badges because he can't get clothing because he needs his environmental suit. They probably don't have any good enough here, so he's got like a cool little badge that he with as you know, he commissioned a badge. They did a little quick badge and made a badge of him and Ada. And you got two, one for him and one for Ada.
Amazing.
I want to get a little cowboy hat, Taeyeon in a cowboy hat.
Wait, a miniature cowboy hat with like one of the ones that like straps on.
No, you know what? Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Oh, while
On
he was
top
getting
of the
badge,
environmental
someone came-
suit.
While he was getting the badge, someone's like, you know, this hat would really look good on you. With that hat, I'm like, yeah, sure, I guess. I'll take it.
Salesperson who's selling the hell out of their wares. You in that environmental suit. I bet I could put a hat on that.
This is traditional human garb. This hat is traditional human garb.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It has a
sure.
very rich history amidst human tradition.
Oh god.
Mason just rolls his eyes.
It's like I don't know, probably like an Orzai just sort of like hawking like oh no. Oh my god, an Orzai haberdasher. Anyway, that's my favorite
Love.
thing that I have accidentally come up with on the fly.
I love that.
So many
Venus just-
arms to sell wares.
Yeah, how many arms?
What? All of them. You know.
Good. Okay.
All
Oh,
of
yeah.
the arms.
No, he's
You meet your first ever 5-armed Orzai.
That's actually what I was gonna say. Yeah, 5 arms.
Ooh.
Bina
I think
looks at
Ten
like
probably met one before. Well, at least heard
Oh,
of them because of like with Ada.
That's probably true. They do tend to be pretty rare. But yeah. Anyway, after all,
Bina looks at a bunch of tools like at a little like stand that's got like she like looks at all of them and they're all like ones she already has, but they're shiny. They're new. And then she ultimately decides that hers are better because she has an emotional attachment to them and doesn't buy anything.
yeah. All right. Well,
I got Patch a friendship bracelet because I'm gonna give it to them and just say, Patch, I'm gonna have to ask you to share some, pretty tense information with everybody that you shared with me. So I brought you this friendship bracelet. I thought I might soften the blow a little bit.
I am not sure I understand. What is the purpose of this friendship bracelet?
So it means that we are allies, we're friends, and when you wear it, you look at it and you think, wow, I'm such good friends with these people, and it gives you power. It inspires you. And it looks cute on your arm.
So it is decorative manipulation.
Sure. But it's like you give it to someone when you're friends with them. It's like a token of appreciation. Normally you make them for people, but we've been kind of busy, so.
I see.
They say in a tone that implies that they absolutely do not understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Patch, I can help you put it on. I know the class was a little bit weird. You usually need someone to help you with it, and I'm gonna put the friendship bracelet on Patch.
All right. Well,
It's like a thick one.
yeah, of course. Well, after your afternoon of shopping, you do receive communication from CT, giving you coordinates for a meet. So you all make your way over across Sulan, to a an estate, or what passes for one on Sulan, essentially. Not what you would expect. Like most places, might have sort of a large, ostentatious lawn, immaculately kept, but not on Sulan. Here it's a large building, much like many others here, but this one is sort of separated from the others nearby, as all of the nearby ones are. You can see that this seems to be this is sort of like a district where there are a lot of large estates and homes, which some of which actually, interestingly, so there's not that huge of a class divide on Sulan. So in spite of the fact that a lot of these homes are kind of large and what would be considered estates, quite a few of them are actually multi-family homes. This one, however, you're getting the impression probably isn't. As you are let in by some personal compound security at the gate, you see CT is waiting for you sort of at the entrance to the building.
Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. We wouldn't miss this for the world. Is this all his?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, I'm ready.
It's in color scheme.
You all make your way inside as CT leads you through the estate. Not quite as ostentatious as you were expecting it to be on the inside, but Becker's words are ringing true as you walk through, and you can see that there seem to be a lot of items that have been collected, that are on display in in the halls here, with several alcoves containing plinths with various curiosities and pieces of technology. Actually, in one of them, Taeon, you're surprised to find a piece of Kemathi technology. Extremely difficult to get your hands on Kemathi technology.
CT, how did he get his hands on that?
I was not under the employ when all of these pieces were acquired, so I cannot answer that.
Familiar, Taeon?
Yeah, no, that's Kemathi technology, and we don't part of it usually.
This might be, at least for some of you, the first time that you're hearing of like Kemathi specific technology. To most people, Kemath, most of the technology that people generally see Kemath using is scavenged and repurposed. So this is the revelation of like Kemathi made technology. That's an indication of of basically backing up Taeon's words about how this is significant. But as you you proceed through the home. Um, you come to a set of double doors. Again, security at the entrance to it just says, "Wait here a moment," and says, "Sir, your appointment is here." All right. Looks up. He says, "You can go on in." The doors slide open, and you step inside into a large, comfortable-looking study, um, with a window that looks out over the traffic of Sulon. Kind of a spectacular view, really, as it looks out towards the center, towards where you can actually even see from here the Capitol compound, the kind of spherical Capitol compound out in the center of the hollowed out space in the asteroid. Sitting at the desk is a middle aged human man, with sort of uh, wearing a kind of tan, kind of light, kind of cream colored suit, um, and he he has kind of just a big confident grin on his face as you all walk in, um, as he nods to each of you and says, "Welcome, welcome to my home. Please have a seat. It's an honor to meet you. My name is Calvin Hayes, founder of the Olympus Initiative. Um, I it's good to have you here.
Good to be here,
So,
I think.
CT tells me that you've got some questions about the expedition, which, I mean, of course, why wouldn't you? Uh, it's all being kept very hush hush. We want to make sure that we're the first ones to discover anything worth discovering out there."
Question: what do you think you're discovering? Do you have any idea, hypotheses?
Well, the short answer to that is yes. I have some thoughts. I have some uh mission critical information that is strictly need to know. Uh, but what I can say is I've recently obtained some information that that it indicates that there might be some game changing technology, left behind by a pre Commonwealth civilization. Hell, possibly even, well, almost definitely, um, uh, pre pre theocracy tech.
And what game exactly is this technology looking to change?
Who knows? Could be anything. Could be everything. That's what I'm hoping to determine. Right now, I'm looking to get some specialists such as yourselves uh, on board, because listen, my I may have founded this and kicked in the funding, funded it myself, but that's basically where my area of expertise stops. Right now, I'm looking for anybody who can be of use on this expedition. Anybody who can help us get there. Anyone who can help us when we are there. Identifying any kind of useful or interesting discoveries and their potential uses and applications.
Well, we probably got the best pilot in the galaxy.
Really?
Yeah, that's gonna point right to Bina. If we run into any
Bina
trouble,
glows just a little bit on her cheeks. Just like,
we've got two of the best. If we end up running into trouble. Mason and I definitely can. I feel like we can take most things down. If we end up having to deal with any mysteries, Mason is great at solving those. And if we end up having to talk people down, Peach is by far the best person for that as well. I'm assuming CT is going to be joining us as well.
Oh, yes, of course. CT is managing personnel on this expedition.
Yes, so you would be answering to me, technically.
And we have Remy on as a guest for this exclusively, and CT doesn't come in.
Bye.
Could you
CT's gone.
imagine?
Yeah.
No, I'd be so sad.
Just the HR person. I'd be so sad.
That's my job done. Bye.
Bye, yeah. I can see that you're all still a little bit skeptical, and I don't blame you. This is an area of the galaxy that is largely uncharted, and has been known to even be very dangerous on occasion. It's a big ask. It's a big ask, asking anyone to take this just on faith.
What do we get out of it, perchance?
I like you. It's a good question. So, he like reaches over, and you can see as he pulls out his like a data pad and sort of slides it across the desk towards you. He says, "Right here, contracts of employment of the Olympus Initiative." And he says, "You'll see down below the fees. They are for specialists such as yourselves negotiable." And as you look, you can see, probably for most of you, a larger sum of promised credits than you've ever seen. It's significant. In the vicinity of, it basically gives you like a range, like the starting amount at 500,000 credits per person.
Good lord. It's one way to fund a revolution.
I'm gonna like nudge Pete, just be like, "Is this a lot? I don't know if like I should." There's been a lot of inflation since.
Yeah, what's the inflation rate?
I'm not sure. It seems like it's a lot. I think it's a lot.
Yeah, maybe don't ask. Peach came from a.
Yeah.
It's kind of turning to Mason and Vina, like.
Ethan just looks and
credits are kind of malleable on Amazon Prime.
Whoa.
But it seems like a lot, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Someone please clip that. I want to get
I want it forever.
You can see as you look up, he's grinning again. He says, "I can see I've piqued your interest."
What's the is this specific initiative called the Olympus Initiative, or is this a larger project?
Well, at the moment, the Olympus Initiative, it is the entire breadth of the Olympus Initiative is, at present, the expedition in question. However, should the expedition be successful, the Olympus Initiative will expand to include whatever application that we can determine that from our discoveries. So.
Sounds like pretty corporate.
Oh, they wish. Actually, that reminds me. CT, have you managed to pin down any leads on that on the credentials that we'll need to pass through corporate controlled conduits? Because like I said, we're not going to be able to get anywhere. The expedition ends before it begins without those.
That was the next item on my agenda, sir.
Good. All right. Well, in order to get out the way we need to go, we need to pass through some corporate space. Unfortunately, they are going to want a piece of whatever we're doing, and as you are already aware, I don't want anybody to have any kind of claim to this besides us. So, no corporate entanglements on this one. Mostly because corporate entanglements tend to come with lots and lots of strings. Strings I'm not interested in being tied to.
And what are your
Same.
strings exactly?
Hmm.
What do you plan to do with this?
A very insightful question. As far as any strings that you have attached to me, all I want is for you to help this expedition be successful. Should that happen, you will be generously paid. Should we fail to reach our destination and have to turn back due to any hazards or unforeseen events, you will be paid a percentage of the total original agreed upon fee.
Well, there's one thing I would like to add to my price. That Chemoth technology, please. I saw it while we were walking past. I would like to have that.
Huh. Really? Well, I mean, that is a rare piece. It's one of the crowning jewels of my collection. I had to go through quite a lot to get that.
I'm honestly willing to just not take my cut of the money and just take that, honestly.
You can see that he is visibly kind of confused by that. He, like, and Bina, you can feel, like, the genuine confusion as he sort of, like, looks at you and says, well, you know what? Sure. Sure. I agree. And he kind of reaches across the table and holds out his hand to you.
Captain kind of looks at it for a second, just a bit too long, and then he reaches out
Mhm.
and shakes it.
All right. So I'll have that added to your personal contract and replace the amount there, and that was there. And you can see as his gaze kind of sweeps across you, it sort of kind of stops and lingers on Patch for a second. And then he continues on. He says, "So, what do you think? You ready to sign?"
Where'd you first hear of this? Where'd you first get this idea for this initiative?
Oh, my sources
Curious.
are confidential, but I did get a good tip on the location of some significant some kind of the site of some significant remnant of what was it called, the Central, help me out here. And you hear the mechanized voice comes through.
That would be the Astrophil.
That's right. That's what it is. The Astrophil. Apparently some advanced alien culture that existed long, long before even the theocracy, any of that stuff. I got a good tip on that from my source, and thought it was worth following up. Hence, the Olympus initiative. Named such after a place from human mythology.
I was actually going to ask about that.
Yeah, the mountain atop which the gods resided. Back during more superstitious times in human history. I named such because after this, that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to bring the whole galaxy to the top of Olympus.
We'd like read the contract and make sure that it all seems like
Sure, yeah, like he literally like gives you just time as you all just sort of like go through.
Is there like a time lock on this at all? Like
The expedition itself has like a projected amount of time that like, and that's specifically for like the contract purposes, right? Like just so that they can like contract for
Have
yeah.
something, yeah.
But it does include several provisions in there of like, unless, however, it should we, like that kind of stuff. So like there's all kinds of what it boils down to, Peach, is basically that
Mhm.
like it's a contract that's there like either indefinitely or until the expedition is completed or otherwise ended by Mr. Hayes.
Yeah. Can I, while we're kind of looking over the contracts, can I just the mention of the Astrophel and all this advanced alien technology? I just want to see if I can skim his surface thoughts. I want to get a feel for like his mind. I want to like see. I'm just curious.
Okay.
What he's about.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
require a roll, but not to do it. The roll is to determine what information you like pull, because
Okay.
like one way or another, like he's not like mentally defending himself, so like you're gonna be able to read surface thoughts, but this is just to kind of determine like depth of that. So like,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have you make an intellect roll. The difficulty of that roll is gonna be 4.
Dope. Does my pleasant social interactions help with
I think-
this? Right? I don't know. If not, I mean, I have Dreamcraft too. I have like a specific training.
I don't
in,
think it
like,
applies
kind
to
of
this
dream.
specific task
Or,
because
no,
it
wait,
doesn't.
this isn't dream ability.
It doesn't apply to this task, the pleasant social interactions, because it's not really about the interaction. It's more about
Okay.
that's not really what you're trying to do here. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's relevant.
Yeah. You're right. Okay. Okay, so I have a free level of effort. And then I'm gonna spend 2 levels of effort.
Okay.
Additional
Sounds
levels.
good.
Okay.
So that brings it down to difficulty 1, I believe.
Mhm.
All right. So you just need a 3 or better.
Okay. 12.
Okay. So immediately, like right off the bat, as he mentions the Astrophil, you immediately just like almost reflexively, you just sort of start pushing.
Mhm.
Right off the bat, you hear sort of a jumble of thoughts. But the primary thing that you hear that is like you hear like actually you kind of get vague images of of tech, and when I say vague, I mean vague in the sense that like it's not something he's actually seen before, but rather something he's imagining when he thinks about this. It's
Mhm.
what he imagines in terms of
Mhm.
tech. So you get like all that kind of stuff. Um but you also pick up some
Mhm.
words.
Okay.
Prime conduit.
Okay. Bina would probably feel a spike of surprise from Peach.
I have a question as well because I feel like I'm literally like scrolling through all my documents to see if
Yeah,
I can find
hold
it.
that
But I
hold
feel
that thought for a
like
second, just because there is more. There is more. There's
okay.
I said some. So you heard that.
Some words.
Yeah.
Okay.
The like another phrase that you hear. A lot of it is just sort of like jumble, right? That's like just sort of thoughts just happening quickly, right? Too quickly. That so quickly that they kind of just become noise. But another clear one that you hear, Voxora.
Oh, fuck. All right.
Yes, Drac.
I was gonna ask, does Ashley I feel like this should sound familiar to Teon, right? Or is it just me as a viewer? I don't know.
I don't remember. I suspect that you and the professor did talk about it, right? You and Professor Tenoris?
I think so.
I'm gonna say yes, that you have heard
Okay.
of the Astrophil.
Okay. I need to find my notes.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
And actually, like this isn't exactly common knowledge, but it's like a step above common knowledge where like some people know this, but not everybody. Like it's sort of theorized that the Astrophil are the ones who created the conduits. That they are the residual from this ancient civilization, kind of much more advanced than excuse me, than any that currently exist.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. Sorry, did you ask another question? I can't. I
No,
okay.
no,
Sorry, I wasn't
no.
sure. I just wanted to make sure I didn't like continue explaining over your question.
No, you're good. I mean, there's definitely Beanie would definitely sense a bit of shock from just from the mention of the name. Probably not as big as Peaches for sure, but
Does Patch have any reaction to it?
not
That's
not
visible?
visibly, no.
Okay.
Do I sense any change in emotional state from Patch, even if
I
I
mean,
don't
yeah, you
recognize
sense
what it
a
is?
change. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yes, that's cool.
Well, does anybody else have questions for Mr. Hayes? I think we need to talk this over a little bit with the rest of our crew.
Of course, of course. I mean, take whatever time you need. As I said, our expedition's currently in the middle of a well, we have another obstacle to overcome before we can make any headway. However, I will require a definitive answer from you uh, before in the next 48 hours.
I think we can do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And is your collection, I've heard you're a collector. Is there anything around here that is worth seeing before we go?
Well, if you'd like the tour, I am happy to show you.
Oh, I'd love the tour.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Then you must see. Come. And he stands up and just immediately, like you can see like his excitement, but it's kind of Bina. You can feel it, and Peach. I think you'd be able to to just sort of see this from get this just from his demeanor. It's not the excitement of somebody who is, you know, kind of into like the knowledge and the culture and the history of these things. It's the excitement that comes from the opportunity to show off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I want to judge him based on his things. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
I'm gonna come along to make sure there's no more camera technology.
Yeah,
as well.
he takes you around his collection. Only a small percentage of which is displayed in the halls. The majority of the collection has its own wing of the estate, where it looks like a small museum where there's all kinds of different objects and technology and curios from all over the galaxy, many different cultures and the like. Yeah. And the whole time, as he goes from piece to piece, he's showing them off, becoming more and more theatrical in his display of them, in his explanation of the things, focusing far more on like the stories of his acquisition of these things than he does on any kind of explanation of what they are or what their significance is.
How does he describe how he got the Chemothian technology? Because that's all that Tim really cares about.
That he says, "Oh, this one is actually a very rare salvage op. There was a wrecked ship apparently. Kamathi ship. Yeah, that's I was surprised too when I heard when I learned about that. But apparently, there are Kamathi made ships. Which of course you know. But there was a wrecked ship out on a rim world that well, there was a Kamathi crew already there and doing a recovery op, and well, a few of the pieces were picked up by scavengers before they were able to get there. Few of those pieces made it onto a market, and I know how to do research for these kinds of things.
Well, as we agreed, if we take this, I will be taking this off your hands.
Well, I'll be sorry to see it go, but it'll, I guess it seems fitting that it'll go back, where it belongs.
Yeah.
Somewhere it can be appreciated.
Can I tell what kind of tech this is? Like what it was used for?
So, looking at it, it doesn't look like it's not much. It looks like it's probably some kind of not like a power cell, but some kind of like more like a part of a like power cell housing, like the part specifically part of it. It looks pretty damaged, pretty banged up, but it looks like it was probably the part that connected to a converter that allowed for transfer of power throughout the ship. Yeah. It's nothing that beyond it just being a piece of Kemathi technology that somebody who is not Kemathi has. It's nothing that the Kemoth would be uncomfortable with somebody else having, right? Like in any particular sense, beyond just the fact that it is Kemoth tech that they don't want anybody else to have.
Yeah. So he's just like, he's not Kamathi and he has it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to make that not a thing anymore.
It's pretty clear that he has absolutely no idea what it is. That much is obvious. But yeah. The majority of the tour of his collection, it's really just him telling stories about how he got it and like describing the the kind of material worth of these things. It's
grim.
Yeah. It's not a particularly comfortable experience. And the whole time, the sense that you're getting is that this is a person who is far more interested in how possessing these items, these curios and things like that makes him look than in actually like in any kind of historical or cultural value that these things might possess.
Boy, it's going to be a mission working with this guy, but
all right.
Well, that was a very great, very informative tour.
Of course, I'm always glad to share my collection.
Yeah. This is the whole collection, or just like one of many in different planet systems?
Yes, I have parts of my collection spread out across numerous estates throughout the galaxy.
I figured. Okay, well, thanks for the tour. Very, very kind of you. Did anybody else have any questions, or should we head back to the ship?
I think we should head back.
Great. Well, here, and he pulls up his terminal and just sort of swipes over like the contracts to each one of you individually. He says, "I've had Central work up the changes to the contracts we discussed. Feel free to sign them as you're able. Get them back to me within 48 hours, and if I don't receive them, well, I'll just take that as your answer."
Okay.
All right. Well, I've got some more paperwork to get to. It was very good to meet all of you. He says, "I'll let CT show you out."
Yes, sir.
And he turns and makes his way back up, kind of towards in the direction of the office.
Right. Have a nice night.
Bina, you can the whole time you could feel Alma seething. She's just like the whole time, just.
As we like turn to leave, Bina's like, "Me too."
That was It's kind of what I expected, but
Gonna be stuck in a ship with him if we do this.
But look how much. Look how much.
we need to have a meeting immediately with everybody, by the way.
Yeah.
And we normally do stuff for people just to help them, but this guy seemed like he could afford it and deserved to be, drained just a little bit.
We should put
For
him
whatever
high
we're
on the
doing.
sliding scale that we offer, I think.
Yeah. I mean, again, one way to fund a revolution.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Sorry, I kind of traded my cut.
That's okay.
I think it should be fine, but are we heading back? Should we head back to the ship or back to... We can just...
I mean, they're in the kind of the same place, our quarters and our...
Oh, right. Yeah, it's
so it's
docked
all
there.
good. Yeah.
CT, you're invited.
You would allow me. I am not formally employed just yet, but I am here to make your life with Mr. Hayes as comfortable as possible. And if you find him undesirable in any way, I can arrange it for direct contact to be made as little as possible.
I'm gonna be honest, I would not say no to that.
I don't know. He seems like the type of man I'd like to keep my eye on.
That
You
is
can do
also
both.
my main objective, mostly to ensure that he does not do anything outrageous.
What would you do if he did?
Inform authorities of ill behavior and have him arrested, probably.
Wow.
Huh.
Vix just sort of shrugs. He says, "Guy with pockets that deep, I doubt that would stick for too long."
I guess a slap on the wrist is better than nothing, though.
Ship. Will I get to fly something big? We're not gonna. You weren't around when we decided this, but we're not. We won't be using our own vessel for this expedition.
That is fine. I think that Mr. Hayes would prefer to use his own equipment for such a venture.
That's good. That's good.
Very interesting venture.
Yeah. Let's talk to everyone else and see what they have to say. It
Collect
sounds like something that
everyone.
would take a couple of days, and we need to know if they want to come along.
All right.
Collect in our common room.
Yeah.
real
So
quick.
we'll cut to a little while later as you return.
Mhm.
So are you meeting in the common room or in Awakener?
I think common room is better.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
Karen will definitely suggest common
Okay.
room.
Yeah. We should have Ada scan for bugs a second time.
Automatic.
Just in case.
All right. So yeah, you return. You convene everyone at the room. Vix returns to Awakener to take over watch duties on the captive doctor. And yeah, so you gather everybody else, sort of give the general overview of what you're looking at here. A slightly uncomfortable experience for CT as you recognize that no NDAs were signed. Not
He's just standing by the door, just like arms folded behind his back, like, yeah.
But yeah, just an outright blatant breaking of the NDAs. But
Pretty much.
I think in Vina's brain that everyone on our crew is like part of the same entity, so like
Yeah.
they need to know.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Remy, but I would imagine that CT probably justifies it the same way.
I think he has to. He has to do that, otherwise he'll just like blow a gasket over it.
Yeah. So, as you finish up, Becker just sort of kind of thoughtfully strokes his beard and just goes, "Huh. Well, shit. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that."
Yeah.
I don't think he even knows what he could have on his hands.
Most definitely not.
Rebecca, you have a mission, so you can't come along. But
Trust me, after hearing this, I wish that I didn't have another mission. This sounds pretty important, not to mention exciting, but no, I promised Wire a lead months ago, and I'm still looking.
Doctor friend to look after as well.
Yeah. About that. And Becker kind of glances sidelong at CT, but then just continues. And says, "So, what are we doing about that and the ship?"
I think the ship will be able to stay here. I assume the doctor will be bunking with you for a while,
Yeah,
or whatever accommodations you see fit.
I've got a secure place, and I can keep her.
yeah, we'll properly decide once we're back from this trip.
Honestly, if any of you and your crew that decide not to go, I could use some help here. So, anyone who decides not to go on this expedition, you'll have something to do. You won't just be idling.
The PC crew stays.
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
PC crew.
It's just suddenly we're splitting off into a brand new show. It's just Remy playing CT and
playing with all of the NPCs.
With all the
Yeah,
NPCs.
Oh my gosh. I think if we have any changes to the doctor's status, we'll confirm them with you, but we have some other pressing matters to talk about.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Turns to Ada.
Oh.
Do you want to come with?
I mean, it sounds really interesting. But I'm not sure how much help I could be out there. I mean, I'm sure I could help, but it sort of seems like Becker might be able to use my help more.
Of course.
She looks at him and just says, "It might be. I mean, if you'll have me, I could use some of my technical expertise to help you track down this person." Becker goes, "Yeah, I mean, I could use your expertise. Honestly, computers are not my area. Any kind of technological espionage, not really my thing. So if you can help, I will gladly accept any help." Yeah, I can do that.
Don't worry, I'll take pictures.
Please do.
Definitely doesn't breach the NDA.
Listen, the couple, there is no such thing as NDA between couples, okay?
That's legal. That's legal.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can tell your spouse a little bit, your partner a little bit about what you're doing if it's under.
That's the fine print I added.
Right, yeah.
it's on Tans only.
It's in crayon,
friend
like, yeah.
Friend over in front of friend
Yeah,
DA,
yeah.
and you're good. Bina's gonna point at Alma and Patch and be like, "I'm assuming you're both coming with."
Alma nods. Yes, absolutely. You're gonna need my expertise, especially.
Yes.
She also glances at CT and says, "Especially, I'm getting the impression it might be a good idea for us to know what he's looking for before he knows what it is he's looking for."
So I have a little bit of an idea. I gleaned a couple things from him when we were there, just surface thoughts, but he's looking for.
Tell's gonna nudge Peach.
He's looking for information on Prime Conduit.
Totally mixed company. Peach does not give a shit.
Does not.
Nope.
I love it.
Nope.
Tell's went to like, oh, okay.
And he has an interest in the Voxora.
Patch immediately looks over at CT and says,
Did you know about this?
I had suspicions.
Patch looks around at the rest of you and says,
Then yes, I am going.
Good.
this ancient alien technology. I mean, the only ancient alien technology we've come across has been these artifacts, so it seems like it might be related. Is related.
Probably is. I mean, I guess we're doing this then, right?
I think we have to. It seems like it's too dangerous to let him go without us.
Yeah, chances are he won't succeed without us, and if he does, then he might have an artifact without us, which is honestly just as bad.
Vix isn't there. Alma says, him finding an artifact and not knowing what he's found is likely to be more dangerous for him than for anybody else.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like his mind had been impacted by one, at least not that I felt yet. So that's a good thing, at least.
Bina, what do you think?
Oh, we absolutely have to go. I don't think I think we need to know what's up.
It feels a little bit odd that get an invite to this place where godlike aliens once resided when I had I didn't tell you guys about the dream I had last night, did I?
Now was a good time.
No.
That was a very good time. So, and I'm going to repeat everything I told to
Yeah.
Mason in detail to all of you.
Okay.
So I felt like this oppressive, godlike entity. And then now we're getting invited to this
Expedition named after the mountain where godlike entities resided. Yeah.
Yeah. So it felt a little like, I don't know, a honey trap.
I mean,
Or exactly the information that we need.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably connected. You did say it felt like the artifact, but more intense.
Way more intense.
We might be heading to an artifact. It kind of makes sense, I guess.
That call to a person?
What?
Can an artifact call to a person?
I mean, it's given us abilities.
I think they called.
I guess calling to a person isn't too out of the question.
Huh. Patch, is there anything you know about this uncharted area of space or this mission that could be pertinent?
Patch looks at it's subtle, but nobody misses it. Patch looks at CT and then looks back at everybody else. Says, "No."
Oh, far.
And I need to ask because I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticing this. Pat, do you know CT from somewhere? You seem to be looking to him for answers a lot.
We are loosely acquainted.
Where did you first loosely acquaint?
Patch does not respond to that.
Does CT say anything?
CT's kind of like been smiling mostly throughout like a lot of this, honestly, and not like kind of like in an amused looking way. But if people are looking back at him, he's like, they do not speak with any deception. We are acquainted from a long time ago. However, a lot of time has passed since then.
On the Voxora homeworld or off-world?
I said a long time has passed. I do not quite remember.
Well,
That seems like an answer to me.
Bina just goes, so wow, we're really gonna be out of quadrant travel. Whoo, haven't done much of that. The farthest I've ever been is Eos, but like we gotta very loudly talking.
Peach kind of gives Patch a look like we'll talk about this later. Like, yeah.
So I guess, are we signing the contract?
I think so.
I already signed it. Do you see how much we're getting paid?
Mason signed before we even left the office.
Man, army, Mason. like going on an expedition.
Mason, what if we said no? What would you have done?
I figured it out.
Could have always shredded it.
As if anyone
Digitally.
could stop Mason from doing anything he didn't want to. Like,
Yeah, good point.
I think we should maybe give Wire a quick call. I can give her a quick call before we sign anything.
Is Vix coming with us or staying behind with Becker? Did we get any feeling on that?
I don't think
before
you've talked about it, but yeah.
We didn't ask him.
Okay. Is Abriel here?
I think Abriel probably would have been in. Yeah, Abriel probably was present during this. She leans back and just says, "This honestly, I think it's your call. This seems like the kind of thing where you wouldn't want to take anyone that wasn't absolutely necessary, so I'll leave it up to you whether or not that's the case. But
I mean, you do have experience with artifacts and their effects on
that's true.
individuals that could be useful.
I mean,
Plus, we'll probably get hurt.
We're good at that.
yeah, if you want me to come along, I'll come along. But I also understand if you want to keep the numbers small, want to make sure that, well, if things go sideways. But yeah, if you want me along, I'll have my things packed.
Yeah.
Is Jade in here? I'm trying to think of who else I'm trying to make notes of who's coming with us and who's staying. Does Jade have any impulse to stay or go?
Jade just sort of looks around and he says, "You know, as much as I really want to go, I actually think I don't like leaving Awakener, especially if Alma's not going to be here."
That's actually a very good point.
Yeah.
If you want to be the Awakener homebody.
Yeah.
Be nice.
He turns and looks at Alma and says, "Don't worry, I'll take good care of her." And she just sort of walks over and just gives him a hug and says, "I know."
Yeah.
Ten's gonna text Vix. It's like, "You coming?" That's it. It's like, "You coming?"
He'd pay you up.
You just
you up?
you receive a
Yeah,
reply.
basically.
New terminal. Who dis?
We're evicting him from the room.
Glad I did
I
not
feel like
have
this, I feel
liquid
this
in
is
my
a thing that's happened
mouth.
between Ten and Vix before as well. Like
Every
even
time
the whole
every
you
time-
telling what he did.
I love
Every
this.
time they try to
Uh,
text each other,
we've
if
done
it's not super doom imminent, it's like neutral.
He does reply. Actually, you know what? Meta, I think I'll actually leave that up to all of you because there's equally arguments for either for Vix going or staying behind. So like I'll honestly leave that up to all of you.
Okay.
I also know that Vix would probably have zero preference on the matter, so
Cool.
Who's coming so far?
The four of
Well,
us.
All of us. Well, obviously,
us,
all
listen.
PCs.
I'm
Actually,
reading my
I'm
list.
staying. I might
Patch,
stay.
Alma,
You know, I've been away from Ada for too long, so I might just.
I was gonna, yeah.
Patch, Alma, Abriel said she'd come if we decide we want her expertise, and then staying so far as Becker, Ada, Jade. awakener and
I
the
think
doctor.
I mean, I think I'd want Vix to come with, just because we don't know what we're facing and it could be scary. Another super.
yeah.
I have no strong feelings either way, so whatever people feel like is the good outcome here, I'm super down with.
Yeah, let's have Vix
Yes.
come.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, in that
Okay, so Vix is
well, in that case, he'll respond. Of course, I'm coming.
And Tony just replies with a K, and then there's
Ugh. Okay, brutal.
A K with a period or just K?
he's not angry, so
Okay,
just K.
good,
You know,
that's good.
if it was a node with Vix, it'd be K with a period. But he's just
Fair,
chill.
fair. All right.
And as far as Abriel, we want to. My thing was that she has a lot of expertise in this, but also she could probably be useful with the doctor here too if we didn't want.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
actually
know.
good.
So
I think that we might I feel like Hayes might have a doctor that he could just hire. I mean, it wouldn't be exactly the same, obviously.
Well, my thought was just because Abriel has specific research and knowledge
That's
about
true.
artifacts and how they affect people. That was
Yeah.
my only reason why she might be useful. But we could possibly, I don't know if there's a way to like feed info back to her. She could do remote work that would be easier. But like, I just feel like having her knowledge would be useful in some way. But I don't know if she has to be there for it. That's my only thing that I'm stuck up on. I
Yeah.
don't know for sure. Do
Let's
you
bring her.
lose the ability to like communicator range once we leave the prime conduit? Jesus, quadrant. The main
It
quadrant.
becomes a little more difficult, especially where you're going, because there aren't gonna be as many or any relays out that way.
It's gonna be a local
Mhm.
communicator, pretty much. Yeah, we're gonna be
The cell
disconnected.
towers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no 5G out that
I
way.
think we should bring April.
Yeah.
Oh god, no one's got the vaccine out there,
No.
so they don't have 5G.
Oh gosh.
And-
Excuse me.
I say we should bring April.
All the NPCs come.
All of them.
Yay, Lucas.
At the very least, so she can shout us when we do something to get ourselves hurt. You know, it's nice. It's very
This is-
comforting. when she
This is
does
what
that.
Lucas says for letting us decide. So we
Yeah.
let them
No,
make a
I let
win.
you decide because like I truly don't have there's no preference here on my part. Like any decision is as valid as the next. So when it comes to this, so
Okay.
that's totally up to you. So
Cool. So we got our crew.
all right.
Sorry, did anyone else come here with us?
I don't
think
know.
so.
This
I'm not
is
missing anyone.
this is who you had.
Sedona's back in the
Yeah,
base,
Sedona's
right?
back
Yeah,
at
so then
base.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I always feel like that's why I always feel like I'm
Yeah.
missing
Yeah.
someone because Sedona's
Yeah.
here.
True.
Miss her.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah.
Yeah. That's our thing. Do we need to get them contracts as well?
I would imagine that you probably you have some that you could just
Extra
just quickly
contracts.
just distribute.
Man, you
I
go
knew that your
everywhere
crew
with
was
us.
much larger than just the one, just who I had met before. So I had others drummed up.
Okay, that's good. Well, I'm just gonna scan my thumb right here.
All right.
We sign a lot of shit.
Well, contracts signed.
So
You,
exciting.
you
So many contracts.
yes.
Yeah, I think the resistance had
This
much
is
paperwork.
this is what everybody plays TTRPGs for. Complex legalese.
Yes.
So you with the contracts signed, CT prepares to take his leave. But as you are leaving, Patch catches up with you. Says,
I believe we need to speak.
I believe that we do.
and as the two of you step outside, kind of out into the corridor, there's just sort of some tense silence that follows that the two of you down the hallway as you walk. And then after a moment, Patch says,
Is the homeworld in danger?
Potentially, and this is the largest threat that it currently sees.
If Peach is correct, and this haze is seeking the prime conduit. He can't be allowed to find it.
No, he cannot. It's very interesting how quickly your crew came to the same conclusion.
They are often chaotic and erratic, but ultimately they are pragmatic for synthetics, or for organics.
Then they are a unique breed, and I do not quite trust them yet, to be honest. But they have agreed, and it will give me plenty of time to observe how they would behave in more dire situations.
Am I to understand then that your purpose here is to... You are not truly in the employ of this Hayes person?
On paper, I am. However, as you and your friends have discerned, that is not truly the goal that I am looking for.
Do other gatherers know about this?
None were so fortunate to be in the area, however, a couple of others do.
Patch hesitates for a moment, and then in what is to you a very sort of disconcertingly organic mannerism, then they respond.
And what about me? Are they aware of me?
I have not informed anyone of your presence. In fact, that I was not even aware that you were at this location. And I will make my judgments later on whether that fact should change.
I understand. Do be aware. These people and their... I have come to understand them to some degree. I believe that they should you choose to inform them and to bring them further into the circle of knowledge, I believe they would be willing to help. Even knowing the whole truth.
I will make judgments on that also at a later date.
Very well. It's all I can ask.
At which point Patch just sort of stops, turns around, and walks back the way that both of you just came.
Yep, and CT slips quietly into the night.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that's where we're going to call it for the night.
That was
So many questions.
cool. Oh my
What?
God.
Patch is like, I think we should bring them closer because I kind of already spilled some of some of the
Hey, so,
secrets.
wow.
Amazing.
I'm so interested in CT right now.
Don't we love how I clocked
need to
that
know.
CT was maybe Voxora immediately?
I know, I saw that. Yeah. Very good.
That was my first guess too. We've known that Remy was going to be here for like ever and ever. We hung out like a couple of weeks, I don't know, the other way, and I was like, I don't know anything about your thing, and he's like, you're gonna keep not knowing. In my head, I was like, I'm so
All right, amazing. Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming, for hanging out with us tonight. Just some reminders. We are this week working on fulfillment of any of the giveaways from the charity campaign, and also working on planning some of the Rule of Lore content that y'all unlocked. This Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on this very channel, we have Ramblemancy, our roundtable style talk show. And this week, our guest is the one and only Jordan Shively, aka Dread Singles, who will be joining us to talk about cosmic horror. Something that I'm given to understand he knows a thing or two about. Very excited to have him on. That'll be a really fun conversation. Really looking forward to that. I think that's it. We have a pretty normal week, so there's not a whole lot to announce. So yeah, we will we'll return on Friday for that. Well, I guess we'll just gotta go around and say our things that are coming up again. Caitlin, go ahead.
VOD Squad, watch the Power Flame Benny Origins with me and Drac. I only have this for a few more weeks, so Power Play will be back in a few weeks with the full cast stuff. But right now we're doing the backstory sort of solo feature episodes that were unlocked during our charity event. So 2 weeks ago was Cadrex, this past Sunday was mine, and next week I believe is Vion's, and then the week after that.
I saw that Omar tweeted about Dale Kingsmill is gonna be. That's so cool.
Yes, yeah, it's great. It's gonna be cool. We were on call when Drac was on, and they were like, "Wait, Drac, you're in the UK?" And then Rick was like, "Yeah, we're bringing someone in from Australia next week."
Yeah.
So, and I don't know why I didn't talk immediately. That's who that probably was, but.
That's
Chat's asking if Remy's gonna be back next week.
Yeah, Remy will be back.
You get to keep him for a little bit.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep him. He's gonna leave for a couple episodes, and we're gonna be like, "Hey, you want to stay forever?
And you want to stay for dinner? You want to stay forever?"
That's all I got. It's just I could just talk about all the Power Play episodes that I'm not gonna be in that you should watch anyways.
All right, Drac, what you got?
Oh boy, I got a lot. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics, it's DRAKONIQUES. On Mondays, I'm over on the D&D Twitch channel at 4 p.m. Eastern in the Kind of Keep Mysteries campaign where I'm playing, which was recently revealed. I am, like I said, a Shaggy Scooby inspired character where he's very much Shaggy and Scooby, but then he turns into a werewolf, which is like the Scooby part of it. So that was a lot of fun. On Wednesdays, I'm here and I'm p.m. Eastern, Rule of Law. On Saturdays, I'm over on Table Story at 2 p.m. Eastern for Midsummer Mysteries, which is a Dominion Clockwork campaign where I play an inventor who has some secrets, but will anyone discover them? Who knows? I'm also the co-founder and event organizer of Friends Roll Dice, and on Friday we're going to be we're actually part of the USC Games Expo, and we're going to be streaming some board games that some students at USC had made. It's going to be from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be playing with some students who made the games as well. So check that out. Also, today it got announced I'm going to be the stretch goal for the Necrobiotic Teach RPG and a $50,000 stretch goal. So if you hit that, I'm going to be writing a murder mystery kind of story, which I'm murder mystery kind of adventure, which I'm very excited about. I have a ton of ideas, so I actually really want to hit this goal. But that's it. Keep an eye out because there are more things coming up soon.
Excellent. You should put on business cards and on your resume Draconics, like the $50,000 stretch goal.
So good. That should just be your whole Twitter bio.
I want to get you that sweater that says "I am a luxury" and on the back says "Few can afford." I think you just need to wear.
I think you should own
I
that for
agree.
I'd wear the
If
sure.
fuck out of it.
anybody
Yeah.
should
I'll
own
wear
that,
it.
it's Drac.
It's Drac, absolutely.
All right. Remy, go ahead.
You can find all I do at Remy Post. I illustrate. I do a lot of weird things, but I have commissions opening up this Friday for both drawn and plush commissions. So if that interests you, head over there. I don't know what time I'm going to be posting that at because I haven't made the little graphic yet. So probably when I finish it, that's when it gets
Great, yeah.
posted.
It gets posted when it's done.
And if
Yeah.
and if you want to see the cover reveal for my chapbook that I've gotten confirmed next Friday, it should be out. You can go ahead and see it. It's on my Twitter at Diconic Poet. You can go and see it there. It's really, really cool. I'm also just gonna like link it in the chat so you
Do
guys
it.
can just
Do
easily
it.
see it if you want to see it. But the full thing is gonna come out next Friday. And I think it's gonna be like $3 to download. So it's very exciting.
Yeah. Congrats. Freeman, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you?
Here at Rule of Lore.
You were gonna go for like in the woods, watching you always. Like,
Yeah, I didn't.
everywhere.
I don't
all
want
the
to come on
time.
too strong.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Well, everybody, we will see you. Yes.
Get in the Discord because I think maybe Remy might have some character art to
Oh,
share.
I do.
Yeah.
I will be sharing that
Yeah.
after the
Their
show.
new CT looks
That's
good.
right.
It's such good art.
It's really good.
Oh my gosh.
Adorable.
So yeah, if y'all aren't in the Discord, and you should be if you want to be, because that is where we have all of our most up-to-date announcements about anything. They go to the Discord first, so you'll get that's the place where you're gonna find all the updates quickly. You'll find Remy's character art. You'll find all kinds of awesome like fan art, TTRPG discussions, good morning messages from the community, which I'll never be over that.
Cowboy hat edits.
Cowboy.
Of space characters. There's definitely
all the
might be one in
basic-
Yeah,
there
you
right
know,
now.
I
Just
all
saw
the-
that.
It
and
is
it's-
amazing.
All the basic stuff that
God,
you
it
would
killed me.
expect to find in a Discord. So yeah. Thank you everybody once again. We will see you hopefully on Friday for Ramblemancy. But if not, we'll see you the next time you decide to come roll with us. Good night
Can't
and
stop
good
looking at the
zone,
together.
everybody.
Good night. Good zone.